scrubbed up. So there's actually nothing wrong with it. It hasn't rusted or anything. So I'm going to use that. If anyone's ever used, has anyone ever used a Jenny before? The wires get tangled, and they especially get tangled if it's old wire. New wire, let's say. So it might get tangled. So if it gets tangled, we'll give up, cut it off, and put a new one on. Right? But we'll give it a go. It seems a shame to just throw this away because essentially there's nothing wrong with this wire, and it's fine for doing this. This is spinning Jenny for paying out wires. This is a hand one, obviously. You get ones to sit on the back of tractors. That will do 6 rolls at one go, or maybe more, but 6 rolls. So that will obviously do all of your trellis. So it will do fruiting wire for this, fruiting wire for that, and then foliage wires on this side for this one, and foliage wires on that side for that one. Drive down the middle there with these spinning on the back, and it will just pay out the wires. So extremely dangerous machines. Some people have been killed by them. If you're walking behind them and the wire suddenly switches over for some reason, something like that, it will cut you in half like a cheese wire. So just be really, really careful with them. Not so much with the hand one, but you're all standing back. But the tractor mounted ones are quite dangerous, so be careful with them. But this one, but even this, you know, be a little careful. Wire is quite, you know, you can cut your limbs, put your fingers off that, and you're trying to get the wrong thing. But more importantly, when you're cutting it, things like that, you should always wear a pair of safety boots in the wire. Right, first thing we do, we might not have time to do that, but we'll see, is we're just going to put up the anchor wire on this. You can see the anchor's already in the ground there. It's already in the ground. And there's another one there. So, who wants to have a go? I can give directions, but if you want to use a hammer, there's a first aid kit there. We don't need steel toe caps for doing this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, good stuff. So the first thing we need to do is a hammer and nail. Now hammers are hard, nails are sharp. Right, so don't hit your finger, and you're witnessing that I've explained the dangers of using a hammer. When you're doing it as well with the post, it's very easy to go like this, and then break your nose. Go from the side. Right, so we're going to put it. We'll do this one first. On the top, up there, let's see if they can quite next to it. So out there. So, now it might help if I'll stand on this side. If you just take the weight on these sometimes, because when you hammer it, it'll flex. So
but if I was doing it by myself, would I put my shoulder?
Yeah, you can go for it. Yeah, kind of.
Deep enough or?
Bit more. Yeah. That will do. That's good. All right. Do bear that in mind. If I wasn't holding that, then it would bounce around like that. Yeah. So just make sure you do sort of. All right. Then using what I was going to show you in the tractor, but I didn't have the one top we got left up here. This is known as the G-Pack 3 from Gripple. When it comes to trellising, Gripple has become the brand or the company that, you familiar with Gripples?
Yeah.
That dominates this scene now. They completely revolutionised the way that fencing and trellis work and that sort of stuff is done. And Gripple, so gripple.com. Based in Sheffield, and now sort of a worldwide sort of company really, and do really well. Nice little story as well. The guy that set it up had he's an fencing guy, had no idea that they were going to be such a big company. And he set it up with about, about sort of 20 staff originally, and then when it was such a success and he sort of was getting close to retirement, he just handed it to the staff that had started there. So he gave it to them, and it was worth millions, the company, but he just gave it to the guys that started working on it and girls that started working on it. Right. So you just feed this through, let's say, through the hoop. through the hole, and we need another nail. So these are staples, U-nails. Right, and then we need to put another staple in sort of. Again, if you look at the neighbouring post, try and get this nice aesthetic here, sort of the same. So as long as it sort of lines up, so it's sort of probably about that position there. Is that about right?
Nah, too high.
Yep. There is a measuring tape in the bucket if we want to.
My eyes.
Handy little tip when you're putting in those staples, because as you saw there with Paul, they can be quite tricky to hold when you're trying to hammer it at the same time. If you use a pair of fencing pliers, which every good vineyard person should have, you can use those just to hold it like that whilst you hammer it to get it started. And then once it's started, then you can release those and then just do it like that sort of thing. Alright. Okay, so again, looking at the one next door, another good thing about these things is they give you quite good instructions on the bag. It's a bit like IKEA. So you can just sort of follow the instructions. Did they show you going around to those? Is that of interest? Yeah, it does go around twice actually on the bag. Maybe we should put it around twice. Let's do it properly, Paul. Do your job properly.
Got to be taught properly.
Yes. I can't see that it really matters, to be honest, but seeing as that's what they've done. Alright, something like that. Okay, so then through the hoop and then through the hoop on the post. Again, it doesn't matter necessarily which way you go, but it's always worth looking at the neighbouring post just to see. It's nice, quite nice to keep it all staying.
You've gone through the other side.
That one, it goes around that side
side,
of
yeah.
the post, but I mean, you know, it doesn't matter. Yeah, maybe go down, avoid
Around
the
the
foot,
outside.
go the other way.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it.
and then this goes through here.
Yeah, but before you go through, hang on, before you go through, we need to use
Stopper.
our gripple. So this is a gripple wire joiner. You get small, medium and large. All the vineyard stuff is medium, which is 2 to 3.25 mil wire, which is basically what you're using in the vineyard, including this stuff. So if you look carefully on it, sorry, if I, well, you don't need to, it's got arrows to tell you which way to put your wires in. They thought of everything, you know.
Idiot proof,
So, it's a while since I did these. Need to make sure I get it the right way around.
Yeah.
It's that machine. But then it switches round, doesn't it? Right, and it goes back down, and then that now goes through
Through the loop.
the loop. Right, and then back down through there, through that hole there. That's it, push it all the way through.
Yep.
Right, now these have a load 400 kilos. So you can hang something of 400 kilos on these, so they're pretty strong. All that's inside it is just two little plastic pulleys that work in opposite directions. That's it, as simple as that. Okay, so that's got it on, so we've now sort of got our,
Tighten it up.
I'd say that the anchor's a little close to that. You know, ideally that should be a little further away to that post, shouldn't it? But,
Because it's straight.
you know, see that one's quite nice,
Straight
isn't it?
down.
It's all vertical. That's a little bit too close to that post, but anyway, you know, too late now. We might find, how does the post look? Is it sort of, sometimes the post leans back and we need to tension this wire up and then pull it up a little bit. Okay, right, now using a tool, so this is a tensioner. Are you familiar with these? Yeah. So using this and a pair of goggles. Now the way it works, if I'll just put it on first, and then the blue part of the grip, or the blue plastic bit in there, needs to sit against. I'll have to come around your side. The blue bit needs to sit in here like this. So you put that in there like that, and then by just jamming it open like so, you can then catch this wire in there, and then you just put it like so that, and it works its way through. All right, so I'll let you take over from there. Okay. Now, just before we start, it has this load on it, look, and it'll
400
go.
is the top.
Yeah, it'll go up to 300 kilos. So if you've got it set on that and you keep going, it will snap the post. All right, eventually. Okay, so always for any kind of vineyard work, set it on the minimum setting, which is on this one is 100, is it? Yeah, which again is 100 is too strong.
So what zone does it go up to?
It's set at 100 at the moment, isn't it? So that's fine. But I don't think you're going to need to go that far. I mean, that's probably tight enough. Go one more. There you go. That'll do.
Yeah.
You see when he's doing that, you see it's slightly pulling this post down, isn't it? When he's doing it.
And that releases how?
Open them up, open the handles up. Open them up other way.
Oh, the other way.
Yeah,
Ah,
that's
there
it.
it does, yeah.
That's it, and it just releases it off.
Yeah.
All right, and basically that's on now. That's it. That's done. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And then we just chop off the excess.
Yeah.
Now, this one here, I think this does go away. So what we can do now we've got that anchor on. Now I know there's an anchor at the other end. Okay, so I know that's been done. With this one here, what we can do now is do the same thing, but on our fruity wire here. So if I do the same thing again. So now just tighten it. Just wait for the twang.
Yeah, ping! Stand away. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's the problem with using old wire.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to go sort that out. Yeah. But basically what we're doing now is just taking the tension up on that as well. It wasn't that tight, was it?
No, it hadn't registered.
Slightly bad luck there, actually. I wasn't expecting that to happen.
Can you reuse those?
Yes. They have I haven't got one on me actually, but they have what they call a key, which is slots in this tiny little hole. If you put it in there, it releases the mechanism.
That's good, yeah.
Or, in a case like this where it snaps, if you just cut the wire and just feed it all the way through, you know, and then, yeah, you can reuse them.
I see, so you just use that machine to feed it all the way through.
Again, sold on bulk, you know, you buy them by the 100 or the thousands or whatever, but if you buy, you know, 50 of them or so, they're probably about 70p or so a piece. They're not that cheap.
But they're reusable and they last for years.
These for years and very easy to use.
Yeah.
You know, saves a lot of time. You know. All right. Okay. Well, I was going to go through the wire there, but we're not going to have to. I might leave it there, and if we have time tomorrow, we'll have a look at it tomorrow. Actually, just run out that wire tomorrow. I'll just leave it there overnight.
Does that have a wire cutter as well, or you just use your fencing pliers to strip that?
Fencing pliers got cutters